The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some independent OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to healthy living and weight loss will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. In addition, this audio may contain income or earnings representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. OPTAVIA makes no guarantee of financial success. Success with OPTAVIA results from successful sales efforts, which requires hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Please see the OPTAVIA income disclosure statement for statistics on actual earnings of coaches under the U.S. compensation plan, which differs from the international compensation plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.
You're still on the call, and maybe you tuned in specifically just for this. I'm excited to introduce some really great friends of ours, Sam and Harold Prestenbach. They are incredible. We invite you to stay. We're going to share with you some information about stories. Maybe you're like Lori, Ron, myself, Becca, who were like, we would never pay it forward. What are you talking about? Like, I had to lose weight. I'm not an expert in this, but they're going to be sharing with you some things tonight about what it looks like to pay it forward. And honestly, if you want the biggest tip on what's going to create success for you this holiday season, I'm going to suggest that it's paying it forward to help others. Because once you start putting the focus on others, actually the rest is easy because you've already done that for yourself. So invite you guys to stay. Sam and Harold, take it away.
All right. Welcome everyone to tonight's call.
Yes, welcome to the Wednesday National OPTAVIA Trilogy Call.
And I also wanted to take the opportunity to say congratulations for making the choice to be here. I'm sure all of you could have been anywheres after a long day, but you chose to be here to maybe look into and see what possibilities OPTAVIA has to offer with their full offering.
And there's a lot of possibilities for that with you. I am Sam, or Samantha Prestenbach. Most people call me Sam.
And I am Harold Prestenbach.
And we are delighted to take you on a little journey over the next 30 minutes. Now, what has OPTAVIA done for us? I cannot sum this up in just a few minutes, but what I can do is sum it up into a word, and that word is freedom. OPTAVIA provided Harold and I, as business owners previously, with a vehicle that would give us the freedom that we desired to be with each other. These four beautiful kids here, aren't they gorgeous? And also to help people, to truly help people, while we also reached and obtained our goals. And now let's talk about goals a little bit, because we are sharing a topic that we love to share with, wrapped up with a pretty little bow. Because of the season that we're in as well. And here's the fact. Years ago, now we've been coaching this program for how many years, Harold?
7+.
7+ years. Now, I had been in the fitness world, but when I always struggled the most? November and December. And I used to dread it, guys. Seriously. I knew coming November 1st that by January 1st, that scale was going to be at least 5 to maybe 10 or 12 pounds heavier. And that is thankfully something that I have also gained freedom from thanks to OPTAVIA.
Yeah, and I'm thankful just to be equipped going in 7+ years of what we learned through OPTAVIA is with the healthy mind and the healthy finances. Because I have to tell you that I was in a rut pre-OPTAVIA. And I don't know if you guys heard it said, but the only difference between a rut and a grave is the depth of the hole. And that was me getting up in the morning when my family was sleeping and getting home when they were sleeping. And then only to get to a Saturday with no life left in me to do anything for myself, much less for my family. And then dreading Sunday because what preceded it was Monday, and it was Groundhog Day over and over again. And I think many of us get into that rut. We get into our heads down and we just play it safe, stay sane, don't want to take a risk. But I finally came to the conclusion that doing that is the ultimate risk. And it would be a tragic if we didn't look into what else life had to offer. And fortunately, we stepped into OPTAVIA, and they say hindsight's 20/20. And I have to tell you, this time of the year is a very grateful time to reflect back on what can happen and how your life can transform. So tonight, my hope for you is that maybe you are sparked by something that is said. Maybe you're triggered by or inspired by one of the stories that some of our panels that's going to share tonight inspires you maybe to make a change, maybe ask some questions about what else does OPTAVIA have to offer you. So a little bit about our company. You know, who is OPTAVIA? Well, OPTAVIA is a collective group of individuals who are looking to transform their lives and are crazy enough to think that we're going to transform the world, right? And we're led by our fearless leader, Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson, who is a genius in his own right, who has co-founded this company and has led us to now not only domestically change the world, but now we're international. We were rated by Forbes in 2017 as America's most trustworthy companies. And we also are a publicly traded company, which is pretty cool because it allows us to be transparent in how healthy and viable our healthy finances is in our company.
So Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson, or Dr. A, as many of us affectionately call him, he always will say he has a mission to get America and then now the world healthy. And here's why, okay? If you look at this slide, you can see the odds, unless we do something, are kind of stacked against us. Looking at these numbers and knowing that just in 2015 and 2016, the prevalence of obesity was 39.8% in adults and 18.5% in youth, guys. I mean, we look around, everyone knows someone that is being plagued by this so-called epidemic, someone who's not thriving in their health. And I want to erase the word obesity for a second, because some people are not resonating with that. But almost everyone, unfortunately, can resonate at some point in their life, if not currently, with struggling with being 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds overweight or more. And that in itself keeps you from really thriving and living health in abundance. And as you look at this slide, you can see that it cost us personally to be unhealthy. But I want you to think about your loved ones too. If this is truly an epidemic, in which it is, and it is actually affecting so many people across America and the world, the chances are you know someone very close to you in your life that is struggling too. Chances are it's a family member, it might be a child of your own, it might be your neighbor, could be your best friend. And these people, unfortunately, will continue to struggle unless someone they know most of the time opens that door for them and shows them there is a solution. And guys, there is a solution, and that's why we're here. Thanks to OPTAVIA is a wonderful solution. And I want to ask you right now, if you knew you had the key to that door with ending someone's struggle, would you join us and would you end that struggle for them?
Love it. I love it. I love this too.
So here's how we open doors. It's not just like pixie dust and rainbows over here, guys. We actually have a system, and that system is based off of our 4 components. We have the OPTAVIA coach, the independent OPTAVIA coach that assists individuals as a guide in the health journey and in reaching their goals. The next, we have the habits of health, and a coach partners with their clients in learning this system so that you can truly not just transform your body, but you're actually transforming your mind too in the process. And that's how we sustain results. You know, people, when they lose weight, they often don't want to find it again. And the results that are created with this health system by far are sustained so much greater and longer because we actually have the habits of health system partnered with it. The third, the OPTAVIA community, you know, it can be lonely when you decide to do something healthy for yourself. because although many people want it, not many people in most people's lives are actually taking true action towards reaching their health goals. And so the OPTAVIA community is kind of like this warm blanket where people can get you and understand what you're working towards, but likewise have similar goals. And then fourth, but definitely not least, are the fuelings. And this is like the rocket fuel for it all. And it really just accelerates the journey so that you're not finding yourself confused about how to eat for once, but it's actually laid out for you. Now, let me flip this real quick because this is quite simply the most beautiful part. As simple as this system is to do to reach your health goals, these 4 components to predict a predictable transformation, these 4 components set you up to build a strong business, set you up to lead other people into creating predictable transformation themselves. It is simply a rinse and repeat process that if this is right for you to explore coaching with us in OPTAVIA, that you have this system to implement.
It's awesome. It's streamlined and it's very simple. This is something that really attracted us to OPTAVIA was the trilogy of health. Being former fitness professionals, we realized that in that industry that we were very one-dimensional in our approach, meaning we went after trying to create the healthy body, but we neglected the healthy mind and healthy finances, not realizing the synergy that they have, the synergy to work for you or the synergy to work against you. But again, our fearless leader, Dr. A, so brilliantly put these at the forefront of our teaching, that knowing that each one plays off of each other. And that's what we're here tonight to stress upon you. The stress to you guys is that creating the healthy finances is going to help with the healthy mind, and it all just works beautifully together to create and transform your life. So let's talk about some benefits of becoming a coach.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to tell you, several years ago, this man took me and our small family then to the beach, and I walked on the beach while everyone was still asleep, and I looked around and I thought to myself, I want a job where I can truly live on my terms and it's fun, rewarding, and flexible. And that is indeed the benefits of being an OPTAVIA coach. Funny thing is, I had it in front of me and I just had to start building it. You know, for me personally, it really honestly started simply with the desire to create health in my life and to sustain it. And I knew very instinctively that if I taught this, once I achieved those results, that I would stay healthy. So that is an incredible benefit. A lot of people come into this knowing that one of the most important things to them is simply continuing to move forward in their health always and never going backwards. You have a pay it forward mentality here. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, when you create good for yourself and you give good to others, it makes it really hard for you to go back to your old mindsets and your old ways.
And I got to tell you, it is fun and rewarding to be privileged and to get those text messages coming in and to watch your clients and your coaches transform their lives in that trilogy of health. And the compensation is second to none. You are the master or the captain of where you want to go. There's no lid on that. You create that. There's no asking a boss for a raise. There's no asking for days off.
You can work from the beach.
You can work from the beach, but here's a caveat. You are 100% responsible for all your success, but you're also 100% responsible for lack thereof, because you are the captain of that ship. But with that comes a great opportunity and an opportunity to leave a legacy.
And there's no better that you get compensated to create good for others. Absolutely. And there should be no negative feelings around that, because when you pour your energy into someone else, this is the energy we receive back in OPTAVIA.
All right, so we've talked a lot about who we are. Now it's to get into some transformations and to hear it from the proverbial horse's mouth, right?
This is the fun part.
This is the fun part. So who do we have up first?
All right, so Bob Gaffney, him and his lovely wife, Laura, actually, Laura started her health journey right around this time of year. And it really wasn't long after that they both said yes to coaching. And I can tell you, the transformation that he's about to share with you right now will give you chills, because it is a complete transformation. And so with that being said, I am just going to give it over to Bob, because I don't want to spill the beans. You do such a better job at it.
Well, and what's interesting about Bob and them is they started around this time of the year, right, Bob?
That's exactly right, Harold. And thank you for introducing me again. You know, my story literally started by accident, and I'm going to take us all the way back to when I was 15 years old. I was literally thrusted into the health and fitness industry by accident, actually, by a car accident. And honestly, when I was in the intensive care for 49 days, I was literally inspired to help others, and really to help others achieve health and well-being by that, because of the doctors and nurses that helped me. And honestly, from that, basically, I graduated college and decided to become a personal trainer and enter the fitness industry, really with the goal of someday running my own fitness center. And lo and behold, I was able to do that. But honestly, guys, that wasn't really what it was all cracked up to be, at least so I thought. And really what was happening, honestly, was I call this the part in my life where I was just surviving. And really, I'll paint a picture for you guys on what that looks like. You know, I was working about 50 hours a week. I had no time freedom. I had no financial freedom. I wasn't present as a father. I wasn't present as a husband. I wasn't having any impact on my clients, on my coworkers, on my staff. I really just wasn't fulfilled with my life. I honestly decided, well, why don't I just go back to school and get my MBA? So I went ahead and did that. And while that was a great experience by furthering my education, all it really did for me was add another $80,000 of debt to my shoulders. And, you know, so basically I was going home every night, and I was literally feeding my feelings, and every morning waking up and then just rinse and repeat. And honestly, about 3 years ago now, my wife, Laura, as you said, Sam, decided to do the OPTAVIA program right around this time over the holidays. And she was losing weight and she was feeling really good. And I thought, you know what, I think I want some of that. As a personal trainer myself, I thought, you know, my health is feeling not so good. I want to actually lose some weight, feel better. So I went ahead and did that. And I'll tell you what, it was the absolute best Thanksgiving and Christmas present we could have ever given ourselves, because collectively we lost about 65 pounds. And for me, I gained my health back, but I really gained my vim and my vigor back. And then I was presented with the opportunity to do health coaching. And what really appealed to me about this opportunity was a couple things. One, that it was a very, very small barrier to entry. Two, it was a scalable business. And three, it was a business without walls. What I love was the fact that the company was publicly traded, and that it was even voted one of America's most 100 most trusted companies in the world, with a global message. So with that, I decided to go for it. And so fast forward to today, I'm now in what you call this big smile on my face. It's the thriving state. So what does that look like? Now that I'm an OPTAVIA coach and my wife and I are doing this together, well, I'm only working about 15 to 20 hours a week, and I'm working those hours on my terms. You know, I'm now a present father. And what that means is I'm actually able to wake up with my kids in the morning. I'm able to make them breakfast, put them on the bus, pick them up if I want to on my own terms. I'm also now a present husband. My wife and I have been health coaching together, and I'll tell you what, we're actually dating again. So it's so much fun. But I'll tell you what, I'll take it a step further. I'm also now a business coach and mentor. And so what I'm able to do is help others create time and financial freedom in their lives. So I have partners now that are able to actually do things like buy the braces for their kids that really desperately needed it, or send their kids to college, or pay off their debt, or go on a vacation without actually having to go into credit card debt, to experience that. So I will tell you, so for those of you who are listening up, and if you're sitting there right now and you are in a survival mode, I'll tell you what, come join us. If you're looking for health, if you're looking for financial and time freedom, I would love for you to join us. And I would just love to thank you so much for listening to my story. And I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season.
Wow.
You give me energy, Bob. I can
know.
recall the conversation a few years ago, and just watching your zest for life now, being so purpose-driven, is contagious, my friend. And that's why you guys are impacting a lot of lives. Thank you. All right.
Incredible.
So next.
All right, finances. And when I received a message from this woman this time last year, I knew that she was going to make some pretty big waves, not just in her health, but her life. And as she's going to tell you here shortly, when I discovered what her financial goals were and her healthy mind goals were, I became even more excited about seeing her succeed. So, Rachel, take it away.
Hey, thank you, Sam and Harold. I appreciate it. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to tell you my story of hope, my story of vulnerability, and my story of radical transformation. The last year of my life, everything has changed. Literally every facet of my life has changed in the past year. And it all began with me saying yes to my health last November, saying yes to a business opportunity to create a plan B last December. And then after that, things started to move pretty darn quickly. And so it's just been a roller coaster of a ride. But it wasn't quite that picture perfect a few years before that. You see, my husband and I had kind of gotten into a really not so great place in our life. And it's hard for me to talk about it, but my husband's job took a turn for the worst. And I own a Pilates studio I love and adore, but it really does not generate enough, stable income for our family of 5. And so things got pretty dire for us. We really hit rock bottom last Christmas, so Christmas before last, when my car was actually repossessed from my driveway in the middle of the day with my children watching. It was the most horrific experience. I will never forget it. I felt like a failure as a mother, a failure as a provider, a failure as an adult. I could not believe that my life had gotten to that point. It was not a great time in our lives. 2018 was marginally better. We were living still month to month and keeping our head above water, but I just remember walking out to the mailbox and just being scared to go to the mailbox because I knew it was full of bills that I probably was not going to be able to pay. I found myself drowning myself in wine every night to make it go away. And then with that came waking up in the middle of the night with insomnia, full of anxiety and stress. How was I going to repay all that debt? How are we ever going to retire? And I got this vision of would I have to burden my children with taking care of us one day? And I did not know how that was going to change. And then this program came into my life. I heard a whisper in my ear that said, call Sam. And so at that moment, I listened because it was a strong calling. And I said yes. I said yes to healing my body and my mind because I had really put it through quite a bit of trauma the few years preceding. And from that became the catalyst for change. It was so amazing, my personal health and mental journey, that in December, I knew I had to pay this forward. And I said yes to creating a plan B because there was a gap in my budget. That gap in my budget that was keeping me up at night, I knew this was my plan B. So in December, a time in the holidays, was I crazy for starting this? No, because I knew from being in the fitness industry, this is the time where people start to look for a solution. So I was thinking forward. A few short months later, March of this year, my plan B was rather quickly actually, becoming my plan A. In May, I was able to leave one of my jobs and in August, and now I am a full-time health coach. I health coach from home. Next week, I'll be health coaching from the beach with my girlfriends. And in December, I'll be health coaching from Disney, bringing in the new year, which that is what, when Sam and I spoke last November, she asked me what was my dream. I said to bring my family of 5 to Disney. I never in a million years thought in 1 year that I would be able to accomplish all of this and so much more. It's been an amazing, exhilarating experience. I cannot even believe it. The world is my oyster. I've gone from surviving to thriving. I am surrounding myself with the most amazing people and experiences, and I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. So thank you, Sam and Harold, for offering this gift to me.
Phenomenal. Remember, you're the captain of your ship. So
Chills.
awesome. Awesome. All right. So next up, and our last story as we begin to bring this home, is Mr. Johnny Schmitt. You there, Johnny?
Yes.
Yep. Can everybody hear me okay?
We can.
That's not me.
Yeah.
There I am.
Yes. And Johnny, you know, your story is equally so powerful too. I know you almost didn't start during the holiday season. And with that, I will let you take it away.
Oh man. Well, now I kind of want to explain the story behind what you said, but I don't know that I have time for that. But let's just say that Sam chimed in and called me a diva because I kept pushing it back. And when she did that, I decided to go ahead and start. So, hey, thanks guys for having me on tonight. Definitely appreciate it. Honored to be here as usual. And before I start too, I actually want to thank both of you for everything you've done and for living your lives out loud. Without y'all doing that, I wouldn't be here today and I would not be where I'm at today. So y'all have completely changed my life tenfold. So thank you for that. So my story, I wish I had an hour to tell it because it's very complicated, but I'm going to sum it up here in just a few minutes. I'm going to start with my physical transformation and then move quickly into what coaching has done for me. My physical story here, transformation, is that I was a slave to the gym. Essentially, I'm a gym rat, right? I was working out 2 hours a day, every single day for like 15 years, which is the perfect definition of insanity, okay? It was getting me nowhere fast. And I started the program, Samantha's right, in December. I think it was December 5th of 2017. And I started at 215 pounds, and I've been as high as 270, guys, just FYI, because I fluctuated so much. But by January 18th, and that date stands out in my mind for a reason I'll get into in just a second, but I lost 35 pounds in 6 weeks through December, all through, the holidays in January, and I was 180 pounds. The best part about that, though, is I've been maintaining that, and obviously we attribute that to the habits and the lifestyle that's created through this program, right? So we got to love what this program can do for you. So now I want to transition into what coaching has done for me and how that's transformed and changed my life. But in order to do that, I need to tell you where I was before I started coaching. In one word, lost. Like literally lost in every single way, like job after job since college, just miserable, unhappy, no meaning, no purpose, no fulfillment, which basically means you really don't have a passion for anything, okay? And that really took a toll on me. It really took a toll on my health. It took a toll on me physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. It just completely drained me. And what I was doing was I was basically working for other people, building their dreams for them. I wasn't building mine. What I was doing before health coaching was medical sales. So I'll just kind of stay there. It was a toxic environment. You were only as good as your last week. And I freaking needed out. I needed out. And I'm going to speed this up to, I was watching my mentors, Harold and Sam, okay, amazing people living their lives out loud. And while I'm struggling through life, I'm watching these two flourish and building a life of freedom and abundance. And I'm not afraid or embarrassed to say this. I envied what they had or what they were building. Okay. I wanted what they had. So all that time that I was miserable and happy, I'm always like peeking over the fence. I was always looking for more. Obviously, that more would be the meaning, purpose, and fulfillment, right? I was looking for that. And then Rachel just mentioned plan B, plan A. What's funny is, well, I don't know if it's funny, but it's awesome actually. My plan B, or what we call a side gig, because everyone starts coaching with a full-time job. My plan B did become my plan A too, but it actually happened by default. Although I did have intentions of making that happen. But I actually ended up getting laid off 6 months into health coaching. And again, January 18th was when I started, by the way. So 6 months, it was August 1st is when I was laid off. And, so I'll never forget that, first off. So yeah, it just became my plan A, so my side gig became my permanent gig. Let's just put it that way. The time and financial freedom that comes along with this, I don't know if y'all saw the picture that was on there. That was me standing at the Cliffs of Moher in Ireland. So again, Rachel's right. We get to work from anywhere we want to. I basically can do whatever I want to, from wherever I want to. It's absolutely incredible. So the time and financial freedom that comes along with this opportunity is absolutely invaluable. Yeah, there it is, that picture right there. I love that picture. So I have a passion for coaching, obviously. I love getting people healthy. I think Rachel touched on this too. I love getting people healthy, but what really fills my cup, other than getting those text messages and those phone calls from our clients that we're getting them healthy, is coaching coaches. And here's why. Creating freedom for themselves and their families and helping them build their dreams. My God, I don't even have a word to describe that feeling. And what's great is I've been coaching long enough where that's actually starting to happen. There's about a half dozen coaches that I work with directly that are doing that, freeing themselves from the corporate world, bringing their spouses home. It's absolutely amazing. So look, I could go on and on, we're running out of time, but I just want to leave y'all with this. If any of y'all are feeling like I've felt before, because I don't feel like that anymore. I'm thriving, like Bob said. I'm absolutely loving everything about life these days. It is a complete 180. But if you ever felt or are you feeling like I did before, I would absolutely encourage you to please contact whoever invited you and have a conversation. Just have a conversation, find out what it entails. You have nothing to lose, and I promise you, this will absolutely change your life if you let it. And I'll end there, guys.
Excellent.
Awesome. And thank you for sharing, Johnny. And as you can see, we have a few more slides here as we land this plane. We have a progressive growth model. And what that means is you have the option to come in and help a few clients if you'd like and opt to be a coach and reinforce your own goals. But I have to tell you, it's a little contagious, and people are going to start noticing, and people are going to want to start doing what you want to do. And that's when you step into becoming a business coach. And then if you really want to roll up your sleeves and you really want to make an impact in your life and in others' lives, you can become a business leader, but it's all your choice. So how does it work for coaches?
So here's the great thing. It's flexible. It's a relational model. So we work with individuals one-on-one and in groups. You are purely self-employed and independent, and you get to choose. Do you want to grow into this being a full-time thing like we did? Great. Do you want to keep it part-time? Awesome. This could even be spare time for you. And there is low startup and no operating costs and no inventory. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to do it, right? But here's the beauty. It's flexible. You can do it anywhere, anytime. There's no quotas or monthly purchases, and you are going to receive complete training and support in the process.
And speaking about training and support, we have a comprehensive training system. Sam, what does comprehensive training system means? It means we have all the elements necessary for you to succeed. We have the 4 components, streamlined system. It's pretty duplicable. And we work off the apprenticeship model. So we're going to watch you, we're going to teach you, we're going to watch you do one, we're going to do some together, and we're going to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. And you go at your pace. If you want to run, we'll run.
Yep.
If you want to stroll with some flip-flops on, we'll stroll with some flip-flops on. It's your goals. and we will support you accordingly. So as we are here at the end.
Yes, I want to invite you to really just explore further. If there was something that piqued your interest, reach out to the individual that invited you to this call or to watch this recording and explore the opportunities and how this might be a great fit for you, your life, and the other people that you might bless in the process.
Absolutely. I'll say this one parting thing is don't get caught in that trap of tomorrow. That trap of tomorrow is what most of America does. And they're going to wait till January 1st and they're going to get the same conditioned behaviors because they're not disrupting any patterns. So I'm going to encourage you and let you know that I've found that people who start in November and December are much more serious and they're much more successful because they're setting the foundations, they're breaking old behavioral patterns, and just to watch them thrive, you heard a few of them tonight. So get with the person who invited you, ask a few questions, explore the opportunity, and you guys have a wonderful holiday season.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some independent OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. In addition, this audio may have contained income or earnings representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. OPTAVIA makes no guarantee of financial success. Success with OPTAVIA results from successful sales efforts, which requires hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Please see the OPTAVIA income disclosure statement for statistics on actual earnings of coaches under the U.S. compensation plan, which differs from the international compensation plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.